Ready.
What?
Ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I haven't heard that song in a minute. You're really just pulling any song to get Corpse Bride out of your head. What'd you call it?
Corpse Bride.
Oh, nothing funny?
Name anything. Aries, you are in the worst place ever. I have 51 notes.
So we'll do 25 and 25? Not gonna be a long one, I guess.
No. Why would it be a long one? The movie's an hour and 37 seconds long, and there's not a story.
Hold on, we haven't hit record yet. Gotta wait a little bit.
Fucking chuckle fucks voted that shit in.
They're not here yet to yell at either.
I texted one of them, and I don't know if they're gonna show.
We're gonna give them 4 minutes. We always give 4 minutes for people to roll
Filter on
in.
in, I guess.
How are your abs doing?
Down 1 going into the third, but we score most of our goals in the third, so there's a chance we win. There's just a chance. We have a depleted roster. They have a full roster, so you know. We'll see. The big shame is that this game was not available to stream anywhere because the NHL Network snapped it up like the greedy fuck-off bastards they are.
Tell us how you really feel.
The NHL is the worst-run sports league in all of history. Maybe the best sport, worst league. You think Donald Trump's a dictator? Gary Bettman wrote the rule book so that any and all questions about anything could be directed to him to answer at his leisure with whatever he wants to say.
Way to just add him.
Fuck him. No one likes that guy.
It's really funny because to talk to you in a way that the mic hears me, I have to talk to you.
Yeah, talk to my face over there, and I'll talk to your face right in front of me.
It just always looks so weird.
I look weird.
You look glorious. Your
False.
hair looks really, really good tonight.
True.
It's got like a roguish look about it tonight.
It's very curly. Your phone is blowing the hell up.
I have friends.
Oh, are they jumping in here? You should tell her too. She likes this movie, I'm pretty sure.
No, she doesn't like stop motion. Remember, it gives her the ick.
Well, then she might like to listen to me bitch about it. Maybe. I don't know. Not in charge. I don't like the rules.
I'll have to respond to that later because it's an intense message. 2 more minutes.
Okay. This is such a weird way to open.
What did you do today, James?
Sweat through my shirt.
You did. You did yard work.
Fucking hate yards.
Remember when you wanted a house because you wanted to have a yard?
I was naive and young and dumb.
You talked about it so much.
I was such an idiot.
I
remain an idiot.
Remember, I was like, yeah, go for it, dude. I never made any promises or thoughts about the yard. The Gants.
I should feel bad about that.
The Gants are gonna come out here and be like,
oh, baby girl.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy on you and your lawn.
Yeah.
Well, you know. James is bad and he feels bad.
I'm keeping my trees alive. Did you water Alice?
No, I said I would do it after the sun goes down, but we've been doing stuff since the sun went down, so I'm gonna have to do it after stream.
Okay.
Okay.
1 more minute.
Okay.
Any thoughts? Anything you want to say before it's recorded forever?
No.
Okay.
Are there more Tim Burton movies that I have to watch?
I don't think that are on our list currently, no. I think we've watched them all. Oh, Dark Shadows got added last time.
I feel like I've seen Dark Shadows.
You have not, you said.
Okay.
The Johnny Depp vampire one.
Alright.
Alrighty, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
You ever want to like just spend an hour looking at some stop motion?
Yes. But only Tim Burton's. The other ones give me weird feelings.
Well, you're the minority because the majority get the weird feelings from Tim's work as well.
I feel like there's a lot of people that like Tim Burton's work.
Sure, he's a cult classic type of guy. So, why is this one so goddamn bad?
See, I think this is one of his best movies.
No.
It-
No.
I love
no.
Corpse Bride.
Why? Tell me why.
Because it's a love story.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. What the fuck are you even talking about? A love story?
Yeah.
No! 7 things happen, and none of them involve the cultivating of a feeling called love.
Victor and Victoria.
Victor coin flips his emotions decision by decision for the entire movie. Victor's not a real person. He makes decisions like a robot. Emily's dead, and Victoria is the only idealistic character in the entire movie, and she doesn't get what she wants until she does, because that's the way it has to be. Kill me. Why? Why did we watch this?
Because we let our audience pick our movies?
Oh, that's right, I'm a dumbass.
That's James. I'm America.
We watched Corpse Bride.
Yeah, we watched Tim Burton's Corpse Bride.
It's a shame. It's a shame. On me, on you, on him, on Danny Elfman for wasting his talents.
Danny Elfman pretty much like exclusively does Tim Burton work, so I think he's pretty happy with his talents and his fat paycheck that he gets.
Listen, if you want to make money making stuff, by all means, that's cool, man. Make stuff and make your money off of it. Don't tell me it's good. Don't tell me it's good.
Why do you not think it's good? Other than stop motion, you have to give me something else.
Listen, stop motion aside, you could do this whole movie with characters on like a soundstage. You could do live action Corpse Bride. And you know what? There's not enough plot to fill a fucking sandwich, man. There's nothing. It's the most see-through, paltry-ass story I've ever borne witness to, and I watched all of the fucking Harry Potter movies.
You watched James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, that too. That one's worse than this one.
Oh, good.
Just based on personal decisions, but the story in James the Giant Peach actually, like, had a story.
That they're trying to get to New York?
Yeah, I mean, stuff happens. Does stuff happen for a good reason? No, not once. But stuff happens.
There's a story to Corpse Bride.
No.
Yes.
Well, let's walk through it, front to back.
Okay.
So...
Is that what we do here?
Sometimes. The Corpse Bride is a stop-motion movie made where instead of doing your little 6-foot tall puppets, or 6-inch tall puppets, made of clay and all the shit like they would normally do, you photograph it and it's all like on the size of like a large dining room table. They built like legit sets and shit for this movie. The puppets are a foot tall and change around that. The advancements in technology allowed for this movie to be much smoother, more appeasing to the eye, except for if you were looking with your eyes at what was on screen. Because instead of the mildly ghoulish things that we would normally get from a Tim Burton movie, he did a mountain of cocaine before doing the art direction of this movie, and just endless puppets of just the worst shit you ever saw. I mean, no prosthetics department, no makeup department could ever reach the heights that this has reached on the scale of ugh. It's just heinous to look at with your eyes. All the characters either have 1 tooth or 75. None of the characters have proportional anything. All the eyes are the size of tangerines, and the fucking... No character has a spine that works. Not one of them. Hildegard, whatever, the fucking maid, who has 2 lines, she walks with like tentacles at the bottom of her body for some reason because her legs don't move and she's like sitting down while moving. It's awful to look at. Does this detract from the story at all? Well, there'd have to be one for it to detract from, so no. This is just a personal take on the art style. It's fucking horrible. What a god-awful thing to look at with my eyes.
It's whimsical.
Is that what you think whimsical looks like? You know what whimsical looks like? You know what whimsy is? Whimsy is Whoville from Jim Carrey's The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Ron Howard knows whimsy. You know who doesn't know whimsy? The bullied kid from Southern California named Tim Burton. He wishes for whimsy. Desperately. Someone needed to give him whimsy as a boy, but you know what they gave him? Apples with worms in them and Roald Dahl books. They said, eat trash, jackass, and gave him Roald Dahl books and let him go. The poor bastard can't help it. He's just like this. We should feel pity on that man.
I don't think we can feel pity on the billionaire. That is
I
Tim
don't
Burton.
think Tim Burton's a billionaire.
Let's find out.
I don't. There's no way.
You talk about the movie. I'll do my Googling.
All right. We meet the grayscale town. You could be convinced it was a black and white film until partway through. But we meet the grayscale town of, I don't know where this is, because they don't say. It's somewhere European, because every character has an accent. We are introduced to two families, the Van Dorts, right?
Yeah.
And the the egotistical fuck ass family. And these two families have elected to do an arranged marriage of the Van Dort's son Victor and the Convergent's daughter Victoria.
Her name is Everglot.
Oh, okay, Everglot. Yeah, that makes sense. So both families, i.e. both sets of parents, are penniless and are hoping that their marriage to the other will come with a perceived bump of wealth and status. Yes.
Speaking of bump and wealth and status, you are correct. He's not a billionaire.
Yeah, there's like 7 of them.
But he is $140 million.
Cool. He lives in like a shack next to Helena Bonham Carter's shack.
No, they got divorced. They don't live in cohabitating
Does he still own
houses.
his shack?
I think he owns...
I've seen a picture of their houses. He lives in a shack. He made his own shack.
I think he still lives on their estate.
There's
yes.
probably bones buried underneath it.
She might very well live in hers too, but maybe they built a fence.
You know, I wonder if he and Alice Cooper hang out and just like do normal people shit.
Plot twist Tim
To
Burton.
like just to like take a break from their weird shtick of being ghoulish. Like I wonder if they just like he and Alice Cooper specifically because no one else is that fucking weird.
I feel like the Osbournes are that weird.
Yeah, but they're like cocaine weird.
And Johnny
they're
Depp,
like rock and roll weird.
Johnny Depp's pretty weird.
Johnny Depp's avant-garde, but Johnny Depp does like normal movies too. Johnny Depp's done like a couple spy movies and shit.
He's also been busy.
He's had like things to do. He's also like portrayed the greatest villain of this era. Disservice to him. Anyways, so these two families have this arranged marriage on the horizon.
Did you just call Grindelwald the
greatest villain of this era?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a character I've seen in any movie in my life that is more evil or more capable of being the big bad of the campaign. Grindelwald is the biggest fucking villain. Voldemort's a bitch.
It's just high praise coming out of your mouth for something of the works of the wizarding world, so.
Listen, they just remade Hitler.
True.
Grindelwald's just Wizard Hitler.
True.
Not like there's like...
Not subtly, either.
No, it's as on the nose as you can get. Anyways, this fucking movie.
Yeah, sorry.
By an arguably better producer and director. So, first of all, it's a musical. Strike one. That's not true. I'm fine with musicals. I just wanted to say that. It's a funny joke. Ha ha ha.
It's more of a Tim Burton musical, which I think you do have issues with.
There's like 4 songs, and they're okay. So the Van Dorts and the Elgenthrops or whatever the fuck, I so don't care. They're so annoying.
Everglot.
Who fucking cares? They have this arranged marriage, and everyone's a fucking asshole. That's also a hallmark of the fucking Tim Burton universe characters is every single character is a fucking asshole.
I don't think Victoria's an asshole.
Okay, 98% of all the characters are fucking assholes.
There you go.
Oh my god. That doesn't make it better. Shit. So, this arranged marriage, it has not been discussed with anyone but the parents of Victor and Victoria. And in doing that, it's resulted in Victor and Victoria having lived across the street from each other. Literally across the street from each other, and never having met or spoken to each other once, ever, never, ever, ever. They don't even know what the other person looks like.
This is accurate. It's not a big town either.
No, this is the most fucking contrived plot, okay? So
they're different classes. They wouldn't run in the same.
They're both broke as shit. What do you mean? One just looks like they have money. And honestly, Victor's house was taller and better.
That's why they want to do the marriage.
And you know what? Victor's family has an amount of money. His mom only talks about moving up in status.
It's the new money versus the old money.
Right, well, old money is gone due to what I can only believe to be Mr. Elginthrop's fucking dental bills. So, whatever. They're so stupid. So the movie opens and we're gonna have rehearsal for the wedding, which is tomorrow. We're gonna have rehearsal in like 10 minutes or whatever the hell. So the Van Doorts go over to the I still don't know their name.
Everglot.
The Everglot's house. And it is so clear right out the gate that everyone just has a massive amount of disdain for each other. And the parents all fuck off to somewhere else. And Victor finds a piano and starts playing it. And then Victoria hears it and comes out of her room. And they have a moment where they might actually like start to build some characteristics about themselves. And then they are rudely interrupted by what I can only describe as the Crimson Chin, but a bitch.
Well, it's because they're not supposed to be alone together. It's taboo. You can't be alone together.
Anyways, they get interrupted and they go and do the rehearsal. And Victor doesn't know his lines very well. And he drops the ring and he lights the bride's mother on fire. This all results in the wedding being, or the rehearsal being just canned, basically, and no other plans will happen.
The priest says there can't be a wedding.
Right, but then they continue. Basically, these weddings are super shotgun, where you can just have one at the drop of a hat, because we're going to have another one in 4.5 minutes in the film.
Technically, we'll have 2.
Oh, that's true. We will have, this is 2 weddings. Notes. The character art is so goddamn awful. It's a musical. All the characters have fucked up spines. Danny Elfman, on a super shiny note for this movie, Danny Elfman is once again just a genius in terms of music.
The score is so beautiful.
Good. I wouldn't say that, but he's very good. He can match the visual motifs with ease. Talented man.
Of more than just Tim Burton, too.
Yeah, he can meld to a lot of people. Now, a note I did have, which really just locks the Elgin Forks into the giant fucking asshole category, is when he tells his daughter that she's ugly to her face. She is easily the most attractive character in the movie, in that she is not catastrophically fucked up in some way. She just looks like a person. And he, her father, calls her ugly while looking like his grandparents were definitely cousins. Every character hates all the other characters except for Victor and Victoria because they don't have personalities yet.
They're too young. They're not allowed.
We also get honestly a decent voice acting performance from Johnny Depp, and we get a phenomenal voice acting performance from Christopher Lee, who plays the pastor.
I think he's a priest, not a pastor.
His name is Pastor Glaswell.
Oh.
His name's easy to remember, but Evelfuck? Don't know.
I have thoughts about that because he doesn't. He wears priest garb.
I'm not telling you that Tim Burton knows what he's doing. I'm telling you Tim Burton couldn't write his way out of a box.
Did he write this?
Yes.
Oh.
Sometimes you swing and hit, like with the last one we watched. Sometimes you swing and throw the bat into the outfield.
Take out a couple people along the way.
You break the pitcher's leg with your bat. So Victor is under tremendous pressure to learn all his lines and shit, and so he fucks off to the woods in order to try and remember his lines that he's supposed to say. And in doing so, he's wandering around. He finally gets the lines together. It's his vows. I don't know why they have to be this particular way, but that's the way they have to be. He does it. He sees a little tree branch, dead root thing on the ground that looks vaguely hand-like. And so he does all his vows and he sticks the ring on the thing, and then woozy magic happens, and the hand like shoots out and grabs him. And by the way, this is the corpse bride. So
did that need a ba-dum-dum?
I'm winging it, man. So the hand shoots out and he grabs him and he freaks out, and then the corpse bride pops up and Helena Bonham Carter makes her appearance, and she's just out there like, I will marry you. And so they're going about and she's chasing him down and he's running away and he scratches up his suit and shit.
I do like her whole opening like sequence though, because she does look like super menacing. Like I think it was really well done, like to like mimic that like horror aspect of the fact that she is a zombie bride, and just like, I don't know, the way she chases him through the woods, it's visually appealing, okay? I like it.
Okay. So we have a brief chase sequence and fucking Victor makes his way all the way to the bridge, not wanting to be a part of this at all anymore. He gets to the bridge, and then Emily is the corpse bride's name, and she gets there and tells him, oh yeah, we're married, but and by the way, Victor incurs like 2 or 3 concussions on himself trying to get out of the woods.
Oh yeah,
just banging his head off everything he can see.
He ran into the tombstone.
And then he hit the tree. Twice. He's just struggling.
It's no wonder he passes out, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time. The adrenaline wears off a little bit when he gets to the bridge, feels safe, and then she appears again, jumpstarts his heart again, and he's out. Now, Victor passes out. At this point in time, the families don't know where he's gone, don't know what he's up to, and they gotta find him. And Victoria starts to get worried a little bit. Because she, as one of the only characters who has actual character, has developed a small crush on the man she met today.
Because he played the piano beautifully.
Okay. So then we transition via a black screen with a skull on it to somewhere else, and we will not be explaining how we got there.
Down below.
Right. Now, don't ask questions about how Victor gets to the Mexican land of the dead. Don't ask, because they won't tell you. It's not like the movie was short at 1:17 and they couldn't add some to explain how they got this alive person to the land of the dead. No, that won't be explained. He just wakes up in a bar in the underworld, surrounded by colorful ghouls and skeletons and specters, and one head named Paul. And he freaks out, as you would, and it is revealed that completely by accident, he married the corpse bride. Now, I don't know what the rules are around getting married in England, but I'm pretty sure you can't be married not only to a corpse, but you can't be married without someone to officiate it. So from the jump, the plot is just written down on a fucking dirty napkin in terms of quality. There's just nothing here. Yes? Do you have a thought that would provide some benefit to Tim Burton's catastrophic job in terms of writing this movie?
I mean, they do they do eventually go, yeah, your marriage is not official.
Sure. But they don't tell you that when it's happening. They tell you that way later.
Yeah.
When they need a plot to happen.
Yeah.
Not good. Bad marks against.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Can you make it better? Make it better for me.
I don't understand why you hate the plot so much.
Okay, listen. First things first, the movie's for children. I'm not children. I'm almost 30. I am not the demographic for this movie. First of all, because I'm not a children. Second of all, because I'm not a Tim Burton dick-sucking fanboy. Most everyone I know in my life is. So, I don't care for him. That's okay. I'm not the target audience. So my opinion on the movie is as irrelevant as art can be. That being said, if you're gonna make a major motion picture with a budget and people to do all your stop motion animation for you, maybe write them a story to produce. Maybe write them a plot that isn't as see-through as a fucking wet paper towel.
The plot is figuring out how to get the corpse bride to be free.
Well, why didn't they start with that? Instead, they started with a not real love triangle between three people who met in the last 6 hours.
Yeah.
And we only very briefly mention that she's cursed? Doomed?
No, she's just waiting for her true love.
Right, and then she doesn't get one and turns into butterflies.
No, her soul is at peace.
That's not true love. That's her soul being put to peace because she was avenged.
She loves Victor.
Yes, she said so right at the end. And then turned into butterflies and left. It was a very good whimper.
It's because she loves Victor and she was avenged, so she was found true love and she's happy. So she gets to be free. He set her free.
Okay. Now, we have to take a brief skeleton musical interlude to explain the backstory of Emily in the bar in the underworld.
Yes.
This is the best part of the movie. It's a banging song. It's fascinating visually. Mostly because there's not anything really grotesque on screen. It's just the skeleton boys doing skeleton shit. And it's very creative the way that they turn all the many bits of skeletons into various bone-like musical instruments. Don't ask me how it works. They'll never tell you. They'll be like, suspend your disbelief, child. 4 to 8 years old. Pretend.
Did I see Corpse Bride?
When you were probably like a fetus, maybe. I don't know. The movie came out in 2005, so you were at least 10 years old.
Yeah, it would have been during middle school, so 11 to.
I did make a note that said we say Corpse Bride in that song, so you could call it a short film and just stop it there and it would be fine. And you could just ship that and it would be great, right? Now we have to cut back to the human world to deal with more nothing. As we get a bit of foreshadowing I did not anticipate, but was made more clear later on, where Mayhew, the butler of Victor, is coughing horrendously, and the Victor's mom is always chastising him about how he's coughing too loudly. What a bitch. But he's coughing horrendously and just continues to smoke his pipe like a madman.
Addiction's a bitch, okay?
Yeah, well, it kills him in the end.
Addiction's a bitch. I stand by what I said.
So I want we have a subplot running at the same time, okay? Now, in this musical interlude, we learn that Emily was betrothed to a man who looked like evil Jay Leno. And evil Jay Leno
He kind of does.
tries to steal all her money and then leaves her, succeeds in stealing her money.
I was like, he did not try. He stole her money.
And then leaves her for dead in the woods.
Yes.
Where Victor eventually finds her.
Yes.
There is one character lurking in the movie named Bitch Boy Barkus. I don't know what his real name is.
Lord Barkus, you got it.
Yeah, but he has a first name on his business card.
He does?
Yes. I think it's Barkov Barkus or something. It's something dumb. But his last name is Barkus. And the moment you see him after that song...
Oh, his first name is Barkus. His last name is Bittern.
Okay. As soon as you see Barkus after that song plays, you go, oh, that guy did it. Now, once again, it's a movie for children. Maybe that's not something a child picks up on, but you couldn't be more on the nose if you tap danced across Pinocchio's schnoz. So, Barkus is there, and he is very clearly trying to edge Victor out to marry Victoria, presumably to do the same thing he did to Emily, i.e. get a dowry, kill the bride, disappear into the void. He's just out here serial killing women for the money, right? All the characters are fucking gross. He's grosser. I am just so confused as to how everyone lost Victor. And then I'm even more confused as to how they lose Victor in the underworld. He's the only person who's a person. Everyone else is a shambling corpse. We get another little bit of classic Tim Burton when Emily catches up to Victor and they have a sit down for a minute and she gives him a wedding present, and it's a variant of Zero or Frankenweenie. It is Scraps.
Yep.
The skeleton dog, who happens to be Victor's dead dog from a long time ago. Unclear how Emily knew about that or
I will say that
out.
Emily did not have enough time to go track down his dead childhood dog.
Right.
And bring it to him in a box? Like, when did she have time in the time that she got married, dragged him to the underworld, they did their song and dance, she chased him through the streets, and then just had a gift for him?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It doesn't track. It doesn't make any sense. But he's there and he's just gonna be around. So she gives Victor his dog, and he will make a instant snap decision that he would just rather be here. His whole mood about being in the underworld shifts on a dime.
No, it's a ploy. He's pretending. He's pretending to, go along with it and like her and stuff so that he can get back up there and see Victoria and stuff. He's faking it.
Okay. Cool.
Eh.
Also, Emily can speak dog.
Yes.
This will not be explained further.
No.
I am at a good stopping point in my notes after this one. They go to see old Ebenezer fuckass.
His name?
Elder Bartholomew or something.
Elder Gutnicht.
Sure. They go to see him, and it is they want to. Victor wants to get back to Victoria. And so they ask the elder if there's a way to get back to the surface.
Under the guise that he wants to introduce Emily to his parents.
Right. And Victor's not thinking any of this through at all. And the elder goes, sure, makes himself a cocktail, grabs a crow, squeezes a egg out of the crow, and cracks it, bathes them in the yolk, and says, now, if you want to come back, say hopscotch. And then they magic to the surface.
Yep.
So if you ever need to get out of the underworld, just remember, find an egg that you can squeeze out of a crow, crack it, and bathe in the yolk, and you will go to the surface. And then never say hopscotch, or you're right back in hell? Unclear. That's it.
Wow. That might be a record for the shortest episode I think we've ever done.
30 minutes. I mean, I really started cruising through notes.
Where are you at?
29.
Damn. It is a short movie. It's only an hour. I didn't realize it was so short. Well, Green Gorilla, you're here just in time to vote. That's helpful. It's really bothering me.
What is?
Ah. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Scooch a booch. Scooch a booch. While you're watching your avalanche.
I can't watch them, I wish.
While you're listening about the avalanche.
We're in hell. We have like 40 seconds left.
Oh,
We have an empty net.
Oh, God. Alright, well, we're gonna pick a new movie. And much to James's happiness, there is no Tim Burton available to vote for. At least not right now. James plays Helldiver. That's the name of that game you play, right, babe? You left.
What?
Isn't that game you play, that new one, Helldiver? Let me do... No, you... I can't type, because there is a microphone in my way, and I can't type without looking. I never learned. And the last one is new Haunted Mansion. These missions are too hard to solo in most cases. That's what I've heard. I've heard you like playing it solo is damn near impossible. Alright, we will be right back. We're gonna watch a decom. There's still 30 seconds left for someone to show in and vote. But you're gonna watch another decom. It's got Allie.
I don't know who that is.
Allie and AJ? Allison Machaca, I think is how you say it. It's a magician movie. It's how I learned about the Magic Castle, actually. And became obsessed with the Magic Castle. There it is. Alright. Yep. We are watching. Now you see it. Another decom. Where is it? It must be somewhere he can't. Where is it?
I don't know.
Must be somewhere he can't get. Alright. You ready? Two votes. Did you vote for Now You See It?
No.
2 people voted. 2 whole people.
Good.
Alright. Let me know when you're ready. No rush. Just. Yeah, James said you can't play Helldiver solo.
It's very hard to play solo.
Oh, I need to save this. I didn't save it. I'm not ready. Plot twist.
Well, speak of the devil.
You were speaking of her?
No.
Oh.
I just said you should text her to tell her we're going. You were like, she doesn't like stop motion.
I said that. I said it gives her the ick.
She's correct.
Alright.
Especially this one. With how catastrophically fucked up all the characters are.
Which stop motion, just based on the stop motion alone. Actually, I should ask this when we're recording. But think about it.
Think about what? You said which stop motion alone, and then you were like, think about that.
Right.
What? What? Did you write the movie?
2.
Incomplete ass thought?
1.
You can't see it on the podcast. I'm shaking my head.
Okay. Now I have a question. I'm America. That's James. We watched Corpse Bride. This is the 2nd episode. I have a question. Because you've watched all of them now, actually. Well, you haven't watched Frankenweenie, but
Do I need to?
No. Based on the 3 that you've seen, so Corpse Bride, James and the Giant Peach, and
Nightmare Before Christmas?
yes, that one. Just based on the stop motion alone, which one do you think is the best?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Interesting. So the first one.
Because it feels the most organic. It feels the most organically stop motion. This one feels almost too polished. It feels almost like they didn't do stop motion and they just animated it normally. And James and the Giant Peach is half live action, half stop motion, and the stop motion is nothing interesting or unique.
I also feel like the stop motion in James and the Giant Peach feels more grimy and rushed than...
Well, it's a lot less grotesque.
Well, it feels rushed compared to like The Nightmare Before Christmas, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel as clean and smooth as Nightmare Before Christmas does. But I was just curious.
Okay.
Because I know you don't like it, so I was curious which one you would think is the best.
I don't like most Tim Burton movies on the merit of the stories are usually bad, rather than, oh, I don't like the way it looks. Because I, bog standard, don't like the way it looks, so I can't judge it based on my preconceived notion that I already don't like how it appears.
Okay.
I have to judge the movie based on the fact that it's poorly written and garbage.
I have a question for you, but it needs to wait till the end of the episode. So.
Okay.
Let us continue. We left off.
We left off with Victor pulling a serial killer move and leaving Emily in the spot she died and telling her, wait for me.
Yeah, it's a little twisted and fucked up.
What a bitch.
It's a little twisted and fucked up.
Victor is useless.
That's a little extreme.
He's a fucking asshole, at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. Now, he makes his way back to Victoria's house just in time to hear her parents talk about how they would love to kill him because he ran out, which he didn't really mean to. He was just trying to learn his lines so he could do his part in the whole arranged marriage business.
Yes.
So everything that's happening to Victor is such a bummer, but also I just don't care because Victor doesn't have characteristics about him that make me care. In fact, the only character who has characteristics about them that I care about is Pastor Glaswell because it's voiced by Christopher Lee.
You're so mean.
Yes. Now, Victor here is in quite a pickle. On the one hand, now he knows his soon-to-be parents-in-law would like him dead. His actual current bride, who is not his real bride, is a corpse and he left her after this big emotional outpouring story in song. He left her in the same place like literally minutes after hearing this song about how she got left in this grotto basically to die. He leaves her there again.
Yeah.
That's some cold, heartless shit, Victor. Now, the pickle he's in is he loves Victoria, or so he thinks.
I don't know if he loves her, but she's definitely the better of the two options. And
she's breathing.
He was supposed to marry her.
Right. So the prospect of his future is to marry Victoria. And now her parents want him dead. He can't get into the house, so he climbs up her porch balcony, and gets in through her door and talks to her. And then Emily shows up, having been nagged at by the maggot that lives in her eyeball ear hole.
Her skull. We can just say skull.
Sure. And she shows up and she's like, who's this woman? And Victoria's like, who's that woman? And Victor doesn't say anything.
No.
But when he does say stuff later, he only says mean things. He says
true.
Just because they're true doesn't make them less mean. It's true, I'm not nice to the Tim Burton movies.
Yes.
It's a mean thing.
Yes.
I'm not as bad as Victor. Victor tells a woman, I would never marry you. Under no circumstances is that the correct sentence. You can convey that message in not a shitty way. What an asshole. But don't worry, the movie is an hour and 17 minutes, so I'm sure there will be time for him to make up for his... Oh, it's over. That's concerning.
It's not over right there. Don't confuse people.
Oh, I'm sure I'm not. I find it strange that they made a children's movie about a strange love triangle with a corpse. Now, shouldn't...
Whimsy!
No. It's grotesque. I don't even think you could ask Tim himself if this was a whimsical movie. I think he would go, oh no, it's kind of gross, isn't it? Isn't it phenomenal? He loves the gross. He lives in the gross. His whole career is grotesque. That's his thing. It's his shtick. If his thing was whimsy, he'd have made Tinkerbell movies. If his thing was whimsy, he'd do shit about fairies.
He does Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, he wouldn't do Roald Dahl books. Roald Dahl books aren't whimsical. They're awful.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is whimsy.
All of Charlie's grandparents sleep and shit in the same bed. What whimsy is there about demonstrative poverty? Mostly Roald Dahl. Mostly his fault. Tim Burton just makes things that make my eyes hurt. And also, he can't write. So, you know, things happen.
You were just complimenting his writing and everything in the last, the last movie.
Yeah, man, Edward Scissorhands was really good. He should have stuck to the Florida suburbs. Definitely shouldn't have. His shtick was not there. Now, we come upon a fact during a song after Emily goes back to hell.
Yeah, she drags Victor back to hell.
Right, she drags Victor back to hell.
They have an argument, and he says, don't you understand, like, to her, you're the other woman. And
right, he does a bad job explaining the situation. Really, honestly, all of the plot could be explained away if Victor had communication skills at all. But he doesn't, so the plot can happen. Now, we come across a plot issue in that we have another song that the spider and the maggot sing to Emily.
Yes.
About how she's so much better than that alive bitch we don't know.
Yes.
And that therein is the problem, because they make a lot of outlandish statements about what Victoria can and cannot do. The spider's never seen Victoria, and the maggot did not appear in the same frame as Victoria when Emily was in the same place as Victoria. So how does the maggot know that she cannot sing or play the piano or dance?
I think they're just saying that, like, they're trying to build their friend up. They're trying to be like, she can't be as good as you.
Is it the correct way to help your friend feel better to talk shit about someone else?
In girl world? Yes. That's literally, like, a whole concept that we base our like, instinct on. Like, the number one thing to tell, like, your girlfriend if she's having issues with another girl is to be like, she's not as pretty as you, you're so much smarter than she is, you can do way more than she does, like, you're so much more talented, she's ugly, she's trash, she's trashy, she's a slut. Like, we will tear down another woman to build up our friend in a heartbeat.
All right, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Moving on.
I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm just saying we do it. I've done it.
This whole plot could be cut and dry if Victor had communication skills. He doesn't, so it can't be. The plot must be very lengthy and wet, which is the opposite of cut and dry. Ha ha ha.
Got it. I was really confused.
I got jokes, baby.
I was like, how is the movie wet? What does that mean?
The movie's not wet. In fact, it's made of clay. And in grayscale. Now, we come upon the plot point of they are not actually married. Because the vows are...
Are you gonna skip over their beautiful piano moment?
Oh, I thought that happened after. My mistake. The sad couple who is not to be has a beautiful piano moment where they play the piano to each other and do little piano flirting. And then that's over.
They start to build a relationship, and they make up. It's cute, god damn it!
Okay. Look, I know that's what the movie is trying to convey, but with such a short runtime, they could have done any number of things to strengthen that bond. But instead, they did a little dueling piano moment in which they look at each other and go from Victor having this sad, mournful face to having a neutral face with a hint of a smile, and Emily having a scornful face to having a full smile. So that's all the repair work that is done. They don't talk to each other.
They do afterwards. She says, because her hand runs away, and she says, "Pardon my enthusiasm," and he says, "I like it," and puts her hand back on, not disgusted at it for the first time. It's cute!
Okay, so should they get married based off that?
They could make a marriage.
Pardon me.
In that day and age, that's more than some people get.
Listen, I don't know what age this is, nor do I know where it is or what, which is why my question of, can you get married in England without a member of the clergy present, is an important question. Now, they get a run-in at the bar with Elder Methuselah, and he lets... oh god, I'm going to confuse all the characters' names. He lets Emily know that their marriage isn't real or official because the vows say till death do us part, and death already parted her. So they, according to whatever the bylaws are in hell, they cannot be wed.
According to the rules of marriage, they cannot be wed. Till death do us part. She's dead, he is not, they are parted.
I mean,
it's not that hard.
You couldn't even start, really, at that point.
No.
All right. So then they go, oh, well, is there a way? And he flips through his big book of plot devices and discovers that there is a way. And the way is they have to go back to the surface, and Victor needs to kill himself.
Yes.
And that's the way.
Unalive himself.
The answer to your love triangle is suicide.
Yeah, we're gonna get demonetized.
I'll put a trigger warning in the description.
Okay.
Because in the children's movie about a love triangle, they put a lot of sugary glaze on it by calling it a ultimate sacrifice for your true love.
Yeah.
When the answer is, Victor, if you love me, you'll kill yourself. This is the penultimate plot point in the movie The Corpse Bride. Like, do I need to argue more that it's bad? What the fuck is that? Who's your audience? What are you saying to them? There's a difference between, look, I love you with my whole heart and soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would lay my life down for you.
Okay.
Now, if we met and 6 hours later, you came at me and you were like, if you truly love me, the only way we can do this is if you kill yourself.
You really gotta stop saying that.
It's what it is! That's what the fucking plot is! It's not different than that! And the only thing that's cut and dry in the movie, it's if you want this relationship, kill yourself! You have to go back to your world and die! That's what the plot is!
For love.
And who's the audience? It's children. It's a PG movie for kids. And your answer is the only character that has characteristics in the movie says, what, you mean he has to kill himself to marry me? The message we're telling the kids is if you want your relationship to work, die?
Do anything to make your relationship work is the message.
Maybe the anything shouldn't be kill yourself, Victor. There's a million ways to do it, and they picked the worst one. Victoria's pretty cute anyway, so So now, Barkin, don't pout.
Carry on with your little angsty movie review.
I'm right.
Shakespeare did it.
Shakespeare's a fucking asshole. Also, Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet, and they were both just too stupid not to kill themselves. How many other people, genuine question, because I haven't read a lot of Shakespeare, how many other people in all his works killed themselves for love? Is it a lot? The great playwright William Shakespeare wrote that a bunch of people killed themselves for love? Or was it the two dipshits who killed themselves on accident for love?
There's more than just them.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's more valid than I'm giving it credit.
I think you're ignoring the romanticism behind the idea that you love someone so much that you would do anything for them. There's that it's a romanticism ideology that you love someone so much that you would literally do anything for them.
That's not invalid. It is invalidated by the fact that they've known each other for about 12 hours.
I mean, Romeo and Juliet know each other for 3 days.
And look at them. They didn't really make it too far.
Sometimes you just know.
Sometimes you should check if someone's breathing or not.
To be fair, he didn't mean to get married to Emily.
No, he certainly didn't mean to. Victor oopsied into this whole situation. And then he was like, well, yes, I will kill myself.
Because he realized he couldn't be, Victoria was married. And so he decided that he would help Emily.
Yeah.
He was trying to be a good person.
Oh, no. From the time Victor does the serial killer move and leaves Emily to die again in the clearing, he does try to do right by everyone he can. Up until that point, he trips over his shoelaces that he also somehow laced around his hands. I don't know. There's merit to a romanticism at a level that you are so in love with someone that you would do anything or die for them. 100%. That's not real in 12 hours. So you can't trick me. Movie's not for me, but you can't trick me into believing that any feeling a character has is genuine when in such a short amount of time, Victor says, well, fuck, I got nothing else going on, may as well die. If you want to dig deep into that part of it, and I don't think there's merit in digging deep into that part of it because I don't think that's what it's for. If I make a big to-do about plot points that don't have merit, what good is it? The point of the movie is to showcase that romanticism in a short amount of time.
Yes.
I think that's dangerous and bad to do. Because I don't think you should marry someone that you meet 12 hours ago.
Fair.
This is how Vegas weddings and divorces happen.
Yes.
It's not a good thing to teach your market audience of children.
I think you should be with someone for a significant portion of time. And what that is can look different for everyone, but I think you should at least really truly know the person before you get married.
Yes. Absolutely. And like I said, I'd do anything for you. I'd die for you right now if I had to. 100%. But if you asked me 12 hours after I met you in college, after you made me laugh in that short film, I'd have been like, die? For her?
What about 12 hours after you realized I had feelings for you? So
I don't know.
at 6 p.m. after that day that
I don't know. I was
like,
young and dumb. I might have done that.
okay.
I might have died. Been like, fuck it. I got nothing else going on.
So
maybe Victor's just young and stupid.
he is. It's all the young love. It's the young, incredibly passionate whirlwind.
Show me one frame in this movie where there is an ounce of incredible passion.
Okay, not for this one, but it is all those incredible dumb whirlwind romances. And I don't think that his is out of passion. I think his is out of, well, the person I was betrothed to is married.
Oh, yeah. Victoria married Barkis while we weren't paying attention, by the way.
And so, I don't even think we got there.
No, we haven't yet because Mayhew hasn't died.
Yeah. And so I don't, like, he's like, well, no, he would have had to die for Victor to agree to the wedding. So he would have just found out before.
Oh, yeah. So Mayhew has a heart attack and gets run over by a carriage.
And dies.
And dies, goes to hell, the underworld, has a conversation with our homeboy.
And that's when he leaves again.
Right, and so Victor, like, fucks off to think or something. And then we have the whole explanation I was talking about, like, 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry, I fucked up the plot.
It's okay. But so he's like, the person I was supposed to marry is... I can't...
Going to be married.
Or is married.
Yeah.
He doesn't know exactly. And so the least I can do now is do right by Emily. I think that's his thought process, because... I mean, Victor doesn't have a lot of prospects back up top anyways, so...
He's got a fishing empire.
Yeah, that he doesn't really care about or want.
I don't think Victor cares about anything besides playing piano.
Yeah,
I think he's really into playing piano.
He's a tortured artist. He draws, too. He was sketching the butterfly.
Okay.
He's a tortured
it's
artist.
Tim Burton.
Boy,
Tim Burton's self-inserts are...
Isn't every main character in a Tim Burton movie just Tim Burton?
I don't think Jack Skellington is Tim Burton's self-insert, because Tim Burton's not really super interested in whimsical shit like Christmas. What's this? Magic in the air.
I also don't think that he is Sweeney Todd. So.
He is Edward.
He is Edward. Canonically, he's Edward.
Yeah. That's a whole thing.
Anyways, weddings.
We have a short wedding prep scene where everyone in the underworld gets on the bandwagon with Victor and Emily, and
at
they're
this
like,
point,
we're gonna go back to the surface so that we can watch the ritual suicide, and then we can do a wedding and it'll be great.
And at this point, Victoria and Barkis are married
in the drabbest ceremony. And we've already had Barkis make a verbal, out loud threat to kill her upon completion of the wedding.
Not to anyone, just to a picture.
Just to a picture. Now, let's take a moment here to acknowledge how fucking dumb Barkis is. Because he got fleeced by how big the house is.
I mean, she is from, like, the family is of stature. No one knows that the family is broke.
Right, but he didn't even ask to see. He didn't check that there would be a dowry. He didn't do any verification to ensure he would get away with money before he does his murder. Now, he does strike me as the type who would just murder willy-nilly, but I feel like if he has the opportunity to murder and get money out of it, well, we would choose that option.
Yeah.
So I feel like perhaps if he knew that they didn't have any money, he maybe doesn't marry her and just leaves.
100%.
To find some other gal whose parents are rich that he can then murder.
Yes.
So Barkis is giving this speech about how great he is at the post-wedding reception in the living room of the mansion. Well, it's the entryway hall room of the mansion. It's all in black and white. It sucks. And there's one line that just had me cackling. Just a truly good line. Where Victoria's dad is crept up on by skeletons and ghouls, and an eyeball falls out of a skull into his soup. And he looks down at it and he goes, "There's an eye in me soup." That's the funniest line in the movie.
James laughed for like a solid minute.
I sat all the way up from my extremely reclined position and laughed heartily. The bar is buried in the underworld.
Don't let James fool you. He laughed a couple times at this movie.
There are a couple of snickery parts, especially when Victoria, another point I skipped over, Victoria goes to Pastor Glaswell to try and get him to help her help Victor. And Glaswell takes her straight back to her parents, talking about how she should be in an institution or something, like she's going crazy. That was very funny. Then we have all of the dead roll up to this party
through the flu network
and take over the town, basically. And they seem really menacing. And then people start recognizing each other. The dead start recognizing their alive relatives, and the relatives start recognizing their dead relatives. And everyone has sort of like semi-happy reunions, although it's still kind of menacing. And that's all just totally fine. All the villains in this movie have the chin of the Crimson Chin. And that is, if you're trying to bury the lead on who the major antagonist of the movie is, you gave it away when you made every bad guy have a giant fucking chin. Victoria's mother has a chin down to her fucking tits.
Yeah.
Barkus has the fucking aircraft carrier for a chin. No one else has a giant chin. It's those two, and they are the most antagonistic beasts.
Mayhew has a big chin.
Mayhew has a big chin, but it's not one of those chins that like juts down and out. He has a big chin in that his skull is fucking the size of his torso.
Yes.
And it's just real wide.
Yes.
But there's lots of skeletons and stuff who have real wide skulls.
Yes.
So I'm not counting him as an antagonist in this instance.
Got it.
He doesn't check the box.
Seems like an arbitrary rule. That's all I'm saying.
Now, this is a callback to my rant a moment ago. Victor brings the dead back to the surface, and now he will kill himself in front of everyone for a dead woman he met yesterday. And there is not an ounce of properly developed character to him. That said, it must be true love because he knows his lines for the wedding ceremony. But just kidding, Emily bails. Because she goes, it just wouldn't be right.
She knows in her heart that it's not right for her to steal away another woman's man. She even says it. She says, I was a bride once, and my day was stolen from me, and now I'm stealing somebody else's away from them.
Right. So it's a double switcheroo. But that decision happens post the Barkus marriage, but not before they find out who Barkus is and decide that he will perish this night. So the results of her decision, if Barkus doesn't show up at the end, are that Victor doesn't die and is alone on the surface with no one. Yes.
I don't think Emily knows about the marriage between Barkus and Victoria. She wasn't around to retrieve that information, and I don't think Victor would have
She was
told her.
in the bar when Mayhew said it out loud.
Yeah, but Victor and Mayhew were having a private conversation.
That other skeletons around them overheard and commented on. Literally, a drunk skeleton, a note I skipped because it was just like, how does a skeleton get drunk? The drunk skeleton pops over me and is like, women can't live with him. Falls over. So I'm operating under the assumption that she does in fact know, and that's why she starts by being totally fine with this.
I don't think she does know.
We don't have confirmation, so read into that however you feel like. Personally, I think it would leave Victor sad and alone. However, we still are in the third act, which means Barkus has to show up to do some stupid shit and die, because that's what the movie's gonna do. It's kind of very clear from the moment he shows up that he is so gonna take the L here.
He also finds, we went over that he found out that she doesn't have any money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was before she scurried off.
Yes.
That was in the aftermath of the party being broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a brief sword fight, which is sword on fork.
Between Victor
and oh god, I don't
Barkus.
Yeah, sure. I've got brain poison from this shit. And Barkus loses. Emily winds up holding the sword.
Victor loses. Barkus tries to stab Victor. Emily jumps in the way, gets stabbed,
pulls the sword out of herself,
and is like pointing it at Barkus, and Barkus is like,
fine, whatever. And then he goes and is like, what is this? Alcohol? I'll drink this. And he just hammers back the liquor.
He does a shitty ass toast. He's an asshole because he does a toast to Emily like, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, man.
And she's just like smirking at him because she knows what he's gonna do because he's a smarmy fuck. And he goes ahead and drinks the poison, and then it's like, I'm out of here. And walks towards a side door, gets to the side door, coughs and retches once, and becomes a corpse. And then the elder Cunningham or whatever goes, that's
the Book of Mormon.
He stops everyone. He's like, we're in the land of the living. We have to abide by their rules. And then Barkus dies, and he goes, oh, all right, have at him. And then everyone goes, and they bury him in a closet, and they do, I don't know, torture or something to him. He's already dead. Fuck if I know.
They're avenging Emily because Emily's their friend.
Yeah, so they avenge Emily, besides the fact that he killed himself. And then Emily sort of walks out to the front door of the church and turns into butterflies, and Victor and Victoria embrace, and that's the end of the movie. The most important thing, though, the most important thing about this movie is that Victor's parents are never seen or heard from again.
Yeah.
Their carriage driver had a heart attack and died halfway through the movie, and the carriage kept on going.
Yes.
They're out there somewhere.
Yes.
Looking through the wilderness of wherever the fuck they are, looking for their missing son, who has accelerated the plot of his life. And, yeah. We never see or hear from them again. So I can only presume they are dead.
If they were dead, we would have seen and heard from them in this movie.
Maybe. Anyways, that movie sucked. 1.7 out of 10.
All right, I have a question.
What's your question?
And this will be the wrap up.
Okay.
I'm not going to drag you through any more of The Corpse Bride.
I don't believe you.
Out of all the Tim Burton movies that you've seen, what are the best ones and what are the worst ones?
Best ones. Nightmare Before Christmas. Edward Scissorhands. And Sweeney Todd.
What about Sleepy Hollow?
Mediocre.
Okay.
The worst ones. James and the Giant Peach still takes the worst for me, even if I may have rated this one worse. James and the Giant Peach is an abomination. This movie's just bad. This one also terrible. Haven't seen Frankenweenie, can't comment on it. What else is there?
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka is
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is slightly better than mediocre.
And you already said Sleepy Hollow's mediocre. The Alice in Wonderlands.
I don't give a shit about those movies. I watched one in a theater with you, and I don't remember a single part of it. I couldn't recall any feeling I have about them, positive or negative, so I'm going to say they are completely mediocre.
Okay. I cannot think of any more off the top of my head right now. So yeah, I was just curious where they all fit in your scale. Now that you've kind of seen the cornerstones of Tim Burton.
I'll tell you this, a Tim Burton character will never be as egregious to me as what's her face in the Wizarding World movies.
Tina?
Tina Goldstein?
Yeah.
It would take a monumentally colossal effort from Tim Burton to make a character I despise more than Tina Goldstein.
I don't know why you have such disdain for that woman.
I have explained it in detail many times.
It seems unrealistic at this point that like I know you don't like her and I know the reasons you don't like her, but the fact that she like permeates your soul to the fact that you think about her even now.
She lives in my head rent-free as the worst character of all time.
See, that seems a bit much for Tina.
It's not Grindelwald. Excellent performance from both Grindelwalds. It's a shame we couldn't have just picked one.
Yeah, fuck you, Warner Brothers. Yeah.
What's next?
Now you see it. We're going back to DComs.
Who's in it that's relevant?
Allie of the Allie and AJ.
So, like, almost one person?
I literally... There's another... The main guy is in other DCOM films.
Hold on, we gotta look. I gotta see. Now You See It. For a second, I thought you were talking about Now You See Me, which would have been a great movie with Jesse Eisenberg in it.
But we've both seen that movie.
Ali Michalka, Johnny Pakar, directed by someone I never heard of.
Franklin Gala is in it.
Who the hell's that? He's an old guy. Dude, I don't know who any of these people are.
They're DCOM actors.
A DCOM with 6 out of 10 on IMDb.
What was Xenon rated?
I don't know. Probably like a 7.2 or something. Out of curiosity, what's Corpse Bride rated? They give Corpse Bride as a 7.4, and I put it at a 1.7. Disgusting. I'm a harsh critic.
Xenon is a 6.3 out of 10.
Boy, DCOM movies are really lacking in the plot department. We'll see if that one pulls up better than this one. Catch you next time.
Bye. It wasn't as shocking as your reaction to James and the Giant Peach, I will say. That one will still live in for like infamy in my brain of me going into like a CityWavesCinema being like, all right, we're gonna just do a Tim Burton one. James didn't really talk much during the movie. It's gonna be fine. Like, it'll just be it won't be like one of our best episodes. It'll just happen. And then it was so extra. You got so upset at James and the Giant Peach. All right, we will have to wrap up because our dog is upset. But we thank you guys for coming. Thank you to Hannah and Green Gorilla for voting. Next time, which will be next weekend, because we don't have very many opportunities to film in the upcoming weekends. It's my birthday month, and everyone has decided to come see me because we're pregnant. That really seems to be the driving force in that. But so we're gonna be busy. It'll be touch and go. Not that it hasn't already been. As far as other streams go, we should be here Monday. For more of Pacific Drive. James is gonna have to take it in shorter chunks though. Because the game does some weird shit to his brain. So it'll probably be like a 90-minute stream instead of like our 3-hour long one. But yeah. That's kind of the plan for right now. Thanks for coming, guys. We love you all. Bye.